I'm trying to figure out how to get into the live and to see what everybody else is seeing. Let me turn the ringers off. Okay, let's try it this way. I think I'm live now. And if I see any dialogue in the, there we go. All right. So if you guys can hear me, somebody say, peace, Bishop. If you can hear me, somebody say we can. I can hear you if you can hear me. Holla if you hear me. I said no. Okay, good. Thank you. All right. Cool. 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 All right. I gotta wait till everybody. Thank you, Logan, Connor. Let me go up. Sound and silence. Oh, it's a lot of you here. Okay. Lady Eva, if you're still here, because you had a bunch of question marks. Julie, Peaches, Peaches, Peaches Banks, I think your name is. Right? Your name is Peaches. You are the best. All the DJs. Renata, Peace, Marvin the Magi, Francis, um, Justin, of course. That was a funny little meme you put on Twitter. Shamrock, Rosa, D. Sigler, uh, Low. Yeah, I think did I get everybody? Accomplice on standby. I think I got everybody. Well, most of you. Yeah. Tanya, peace. Daisy. Ben, hey Ben, peace. How's it going? Um, long time no hear from. Um, oh, and I got some more audio books I'm working on, Ben. Uh, just so you know. Uh, Ben is I don't know what you would call it visually. What you know? Uh, but okay, cool, Mr. Band Clap. Anyway, let me get to it because I'll be here all day doing shout outs. So yeah, I wanted to connect with you all. Uh, Actually, I was supposed to do it a while ago. My assistant, I think it was sometime last month, had reached out to me and asked me if I was gonna like if she needed me to schedule anything for the Orisha channel because it had hit 10,000 subscribers. And not that I necessarily said that I was going to do something when it hit 10,000 subscribers, but I suppose it was a good thing. And I didn't, I couldn't get around to it. I've been ripping and running. So yeah, it was delayed. So I figured, why not tonight? I got a couple things going on, and I just wanted to kind of jump in, and just express gratitude for those who've been subscribing and sharing videos and things like that. I've been hearing, or I've been getting a lot of people who've been reaching out and letting me know, like, oh, so and so. I've been getting a lot of is people who have been sharing videos with their children. I've been getting a lot of that. A lot of young people reaching out to me and like, yeah, my mother listens to you, my father listens to you. They told me I should check you out. So, that's great. Keeping the things moving forward, keeping the tradition going. So, you know, definitely 10,000 subscribers is cool. But actually, we're at like 10,300, something like that. So it's moving exponentially. It seems to be kind of multiplying in terms because it's being shared out. So 10,000 subscribers. But I'm just peace Omega and baby or BB Rodriguez. Is it BB like BB Winans? Because I don't know. Yeah, Obadina, Linda Love, Yeah, Sherry's Sherry. I'm sorry, look like an S. Maybe I'm just gonna stop trying to read these because yeah, my vision isn't so great tonight. I'm a little. I could use some rest. But anyway, so yeah, man, I just wanted to give thanks for that, and also to kind of like just not that I really, you guys know, I don't really put a lot of emphasis on astronomical, astrological events, but we do have a full moon in Aquarius this evening. Speaking of which, in events, I hope you all are subscribed to the Chief Yuya channel as well. I actually released a video yesterday, the 14th. That's actually a video that was a pay-per-view, or they call video on demand video, for some years now, and I decided to gift it on that day in honor of one of my egun who was born on the 14th of August. So I decided to, and I actually scheduled the video to be released like 2 years ago. I put it in the YouTube scheduler and I forgot about it until it got released, and I was getting notifications of comments, and I was like, oh, that's right, I did schedule to put that video up. So I hope you're over there and you can enjoy it. It's about an hour, maybe 20 minutes, something like that. And of course, it gets into metaphysics, and you guys know what I do: karma, Krishna, and of course, Orisha, right? But like I was saying, we're in Aquarius. We got a full moon in Aquarius on this evening, and typically I don't put a lot of emphasis on astrological, astronomical events because there's a there's a growing that has to occur, you know, um, coming from astronomy to astrology. Astrology is like astrology is like that conscious aunt that no one wants to come to the barbecues and the cookouts and the things like that, in relationship to astronomy. So astrology has always been considered over the ages to some degree to be a nuisance and a necessary evil, though, because you need that conscious witchy aunt, But even with that, I don't put a whole lot of emphasis on it because of the sometimes people can cage themselves in with the ideas of astrology and kind of even use it as crutches and well, I do this or I do that because I am this, I am that, and it's not really designed to work that way. The idea of looking at the anatomy of the universe is significant to looking at the anatomy of yourself and understanding that even in earlier times, when you're talking about like early Yoruba culture, it was considered that each star was a shrine, and it was a shrine to a particular awo that was in they don't call it meditation, even though there's some discrepancy in the Yoruba community as to if I will meditate. We meditate. So there really shouldn't be any real discrepancy. There's certain words in the Yoruba language that speak directly to meditation. When you hear it talks about going into the dark forest, or like the book that I suggested that so many people seem to have enjoyed, I'm glad, the Forest of a Thousand Demons. That's a experience and a journey of meditation. So when you hear stories like that, patakis like that, it's speaking about that process of meditation, right? But ancient kingdom, old kingdom would talk about each star that you would see in the sky is a shrine that an ascended awo was maintaining, in what you could call like the afterlife, or the afterworld or underworld, how you see it, right? So there's always been a significance with Yoruba culture and astronomy. I'm just checking these periodically. Peace, peace, Mama Marva. Peace, peace, peace. Peace, Shannon. Yeah. So yeah, this always been this beautiful correlation and connection between the understanding of cosmology and the understanding how it connects to astronomy and things like that. So I just don't focus so much on astrology because sometimes people, in order to, in an effort to try to bring something new, they just start throwing things in where they don't belong. You know, they try to make correlations to be able to say, well, I was the first one to connect astrology with, you know, Odu and this and that and that and that. And there is a connection. Like there's this connection of different astrological events to Odu. For instance, the sacred Odu of Eji Ogbe is connected to the vibration of Aquarius, right? And we have a full moon, Aquarius and a full moon. The moon is connected to other Odu as well, such as Odi. If you're casting shells, Meridin Logun, it would be Odi. If you're casting Ikin, it would be Idi. You know, and D means to give birth. So there's a connection there with, of course, Yemanja, of course. And Be or Ogbe means to be, you know, like be, so you can remember it that way. But it's the spirit of being. And Ogbe is the very first Odu that you start off. You start off with. You know, initially it was Ofun, which had became later the 16th Odu. But and Ofun means the knowledge, wisdom, and understanding, or the exaltation of light, or of light. We could just say light. So Ofun was kind of first because everything starts with light, but everything ends with light in a way too. So that's why Ofun gave the position that Ejiogbe was like, you know what, you could take the number one position in the order of the 16 Odu. I'll take the last position. But really, the secret is Ofun has the last and the first. Because when we're birthed into a world, we have to die in the previous world anyway, right? But yeah, so peace, Gloria, peace. So yeah, you know, we got an Aquarius and full moon. I'm just gonna give you a little something real quick, and this is really just to commensurate 10,000 subscriptions. And like I said, for whatever it means, I don't get like any badge or anything like that. So there's no reward or anything. But I guess you should. you know, I'm not really a big social media person of like that, and I definitely don't do videos as often as I should. But there's a lot of content, so I guess people are still coming in. You know, new people are coming into these traditions every day, and they're finding, you know, maybe videos that I may have put up 6 or 7 or 8 years ago. So, you know, I'm thankful for that, of course, obviously. But like I said, we have a new moon in Aquarius, and like I said, you have astrology, you have planetary design that sits right inside of Odu, right, and definitely sits inside of the Odu. The Odu gives birth to those planets. The Odu gives birth to the astrological understandings and things like that. So they are prevalent and they do sit inside of there. You know, peace, Taj B. You know, and thank you, accomplice on standby, right? So you know, you have like I said, tonight we have a full moon, and you know, the full moon in our tradition always represented sanctification and purification to a large degree. But in our cosmology, it's the idea of allowing ourselves to, you know, you have that waning period, but allowing yourself to cleanse yourself of anything that is not significant to your purpose, right? To your purpose. Anything that's not significant to your purpose. We have the concept of Atunwa in our tradition, which for many would be closely related with the idea of reincarnation, right? What did I come here to do? What did I come here to be? And during that full moon time, you know, there's certain things we might do in terms of like ritual and things like that. But, you know, in terms of the vibration, okay, I'll get back. I'll get to some of these comments in a minute. I'm glancing over here. I'll bounce back and forth. But yeah, just in terms of the vibration, when you're dealing with full moon, you're talking about now, because you remember you're at a period now where the moon is reflecting, or it's being totally filled by the light of the sun, you know, in terms of its positioning, and as a result, it has a much stronger gravitational pull on three elements on the earth. Those elements being Omi, which is water, Afefe, which is wind, and Onile, which is the earth, right? So during that time, you have a much stronger pull on those elements. So what happens is during the full moon, there's a certain compulsion to move in a way where you become more body conscious, where you start to become more conscious of the temple and the things that are affecting the temple, and maybe even some of the things that the temple is doing that's hindering the path of the sojourner, that's hindering the path of the owl coming into being and things like that. So during that full moon, it's more related to physicality, whereas the new moon is more related to mentality. It's a subtle pull where now you're having more activity from the dark side of the moon. So, and I'm speaking all, a lot of times people are like, man, I like the way you mix it in and stuff. This stuff is all coming from the same culture. It's just it seems like it's new because sometimes maybe people don't, they take a different course of study, you know. But when you're dealing with that new moon culture, you're dealing with mentality, and you're dealing with things that are coming from the dark side of the moon. Whereas you're dealing with the full moon, you're dealing with physicality, So you might have people who are more emotional during the full moon, or when we talk about lunatics, lunar, they may act a little crazy or different things like that. But there's an outpouring of energy and emotion at that time. Now, the significance of Aquarius, Aquarius has double rulership by Uranus or Anu and Saturn. There's a double rulership there, right? And when you're dealing with those two vibrations, when you're dealing with Uranus or Anu, right? Just like the Yoruba Oro means light. Okay. There's an idea that even the word more comes from Oro, right? Omo Oro, and Omo Oro later became more. Omo Oro means the children of light. Okay, so you have this idea of Oro, and of course in Spanish that would be gold, right? So you have still this idea of some type of light or beginning fire, But you have Anu, Oro, Anu, heaven. Anytime you see An or Orun, right? Um, and Orun being heaven, it deals with your loftier ideas, the things that you're striving for, the things that you're reaching. I lost my comments. Okay. Yeah. The things that you're striving for, the things that you're moving higher for, things like that. Saturn is dealing with that idea of, again, satiation, duty, responsibility, even to a degree militarism. When you're dealing with militancy, you're dealing with that Saturn aspect. So, like I said, we got a full moon in Aquarius. Now, there's something like interesting even about Uranus, right? I was thinking about this earlier. I was doing a consultation with somebody, so I'm just gonna say I was thinking about it, but it's something significant that came through. And I was talking to someone, and he was like, we were talking about some things he wants to get initiated, and a bunch of other things, and we were talking about that. And he said, well, because man, I'm 44, so he was like, I'm 44, man, so I'm getting up there. And I was like, you haven't even made it anywhere yet. We're getting up, like, where's 44? You know what I mean? Like, would it, you know, what's supposed to happen at 44 that's so significant, aside from the value of the number itself, right? So I was telling him, I said, listen, man, tonight we got a full moon in Aquarius. Aquarius is governed by Uranus and Saturn. Uranus takes 84 years to make its revolution, So that's why when we start thinking about what we want to do with our life and our higher aspirations and our higher goals, that usually happens in your early 40s, around 40 to 42, maybe even to 45. In this culture, in Western culture, they call that a midlife crisis. So what that is, it's not so much that you're having a midlife crisis. If you're aligned and connected to the value of Uranus or Anu, then what it is that's that it's midway through its trip and its revolution when it's moving and connecting to the sun vibration, right? So that energy, because remember, what's in the universe is what's in you. It's you're looking at your own anatomy, right? And all of those. At one point, they would say that they were the Buddhas. Each star, and if you're dealing with that culture, they call the stars the shrines of Buddha, of different Buddhas that came, right? But in Yoruba, we called it the shrine of our wolves. I think ours came first. But anyway, so you have this idea here of like the movement of Uranus. And like I said, it takes 84 years. So when you get to that point of 40, 41, 42, you start feeling like, man, I'm at the halfway point. I'm having a midlife crisis. What have I done with my life? Because that aspect of heaven, or what you're striving for, in that greater purpose, or that atunwa, which you came to the planet to be and to represent and whatnot. Now you're kind of you're thinking about that a little bit more. So like I said, like when he said, "Man, I'm 44, whoop de woo," and I was like, 44 is nothing, man. Like you're not. If you're keeping yourself in shape, you probably still want to wheelie a dirt bike and eat candy out the store, and you probably still get excited when your wife takes off her bra at night and you're at the edge of the bed looking at pretend like you're not looking. He's like, yeah, actually all that stuff. I said, yeah, you still a baby. You know, it's just sometimes we get locked into other people's physiology, and we don't realize that maybe our clock might be a little bit different. And I'm not just talking ethnically. I'm speaking about those who are filled with light, those who are processing the aurora in a certain kind of way. It preserves you. You know, um, when you're processing that sulfur, which is that salt, sulfur connects you to the soul. When you're aligning yourself with soul energy, salt does what? It preserves. So you find yourself maybe preserved. So the numbers you have to kind of, there's a curve. You know, you have to kind of readjust the numbers based on the lifestyle that you're living, based on maybe your level of consciousness. You know, but like I was just saying, you know, like the Aquarius and full moon, you know, real simple. A lot of you know that Aquarius is an air sign, but it's the water bearer, right? And I mentioned that in a video on another channel, and someone could corrected me. Uh, I shouldn't even acknowledge this because it was so stupid. I don't even know why I'm bringing it up. I said exactly what I just said. It's an air sign, but it's the water bearer. And I started getting into the water aspect, and they said, correction, Aquarius is an air sign. Yeah, I said that, but it's also the water bearer. You know what I mean? I don't even know why I'm bringing that up because I wasn't gonna mention it. So let's just move on from that. Sometimes people just say dumb stuff, and you gotta like. It takes more energy not to say anything. You know, I see those comments. You guys probably don't think I see the comments. I'll be like, oh, God, and then they come in arrogant on top of that. You want to be like, you know what? You need a punch in the chin. But anyway, so so it's that value of water. One of the great things and or the interesting things about that Aquarian energy, if you notice when it's pouring out water, which is it's really it was Ptah originally, and then it later was the Greeks got a hold of it, and it became Zeus's lover, you know, Ganymede, became the water bearer for the Aquarius symbol. But that chalice, that chalice, and that is not it's not representing what you might think. You know, remember Greeks, they live in Greece. There's a reason they called it Greece. You know what I mean? So, with that being said, yeah. So you have this energy of the water being poured out, right? And one of the interesting things about the Aquarian energy or the Ptah energy and that symbol is that the water is being poured out from a escalated vertical. It's not being poured out like a river or like a stream, or like an ocean. So what that represents, see, a lot of people think that the water, see, when you have water that's running on Aye, when you have Omi Aye, water that's running around the earth, it represents emotions. You see, because the earth is, it's the flesh, it's the, like Adam, it's the earth. So the earth is picking up the human vibrations, right? So when you have water, or like you have the yaba, the clay pot, you have that water in that clay or in that earth, it's going to be a representation of emotional energy. When you have water coming from on high, it's a representation of truth. Okay, so with that Aquarian energy, this consciousness and truth that is being poured out, not necessarily. So it's different waters. That's why, like, the tonality of Yoruba, and not just Yoruba, like a lot of the Bantu languages, the tonality is so critical because the tones tell you what's being said. You know, like Omi, which we say okay is water, but it also means serenity. You see, so I had a woman I initiated some years ago, and I named her Omilade, and you know she was like, what does my name mean? And I said, well, think about it. Like come back to me tomorrow. We'll talk about it. And and she came back. Of course, she looked it up and stuff. She said, "Oh well, Ade is crown and Omi is water." So she was like, "The crown is water," or something like that. And I said, "No, Omi Lade is the serenity of royalty." So the water represents serenity, but Omi is also the spirit. Mi means me, or I. Well, Mo is I in Yoruba, but me is me. So Omi would be like the spirit of me. You know. So that takes us somewhere else. But like I was saying, peace, Natasha. I'm just going to jump in and give you a couple. Natasha, Rika, Shy, and a couple of you other people here. Bussy, let's say Bust Your Head Boy. I like that name. Okay, Bust Your Head Boy. Bust Your Head Boy. So anyway, so so yeah, so you have this idea in Aquarian structure where again truth is being poured from the top. Coming from Orun to Aye, or heaven to earth, is so significant in what it is that we're speaking about. Again, as I said, as opposed to coming across the land. So when you combine that with that vibration of that full moon, which is the purging energy, you're dealing with a vibration now that's speaking about you facing your truths, deliberating on those truths, the divine truths. And again, because you have that Anu, or that Uranus influence, you have that Saturn influence that's dealing with duty, that's dealing with responsibility. Saturn is Babalu Aye, a whole nother different kind of story. Because Babalu Aye was present in even in ancient Greece. Maybe one day I'll break that down. Maybe I won't. I don't know. We'll see which way the wind blows. But so the idea there is that again, it's a time to look at purpose. Right? You said all that just to say that? Yeah, I did. It's a time to look at purpose. Like what am I really here for? And again, it's that midway trip. When we start reflecting on the vibration of Anu or Uranus, we're dealing with the midway trip. When you get around to that age, for those of you guys or females who are in your mid 40s, early 40s, and you're starting to feel like you want to go back to the gym, or you want to get that Brazilian butt, and that's for you guys too, because I've seen some guys they do that now. That's a thing. It's a thing. Or you want to go get that convertible or whatever it is. And sometimes those things are a replacement for the exploration of your own purpose, and really taking that safari through the different channels and canals of what it is of your destiny, which is really channeling and canaling through your Ori. Because remember, that's where the destiny is held. That's where the information of reincarnation is held in the Ori. Okay, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here, it's here. All right, I'm gonna look at some of these before I ain't gonna say too much more, but We got a couple of questions. So, so Obadina Tucker says, would Oro be associated with luster? Yes, because luster means to shine. Lust means to shine. Luster, lust is to shine. So if you lust after someone, what it is that you're vibing in on. I mean, you could be coveting, but you're desirous of the light that's inside of them. So Oro being that vibration of light. But again, like I said, if you take it to the Spanish, you have gold or rose gold, right? Which is a form of lust, of luster. And gold is doing what? Gold is maintaining sun vibration. That's why it's so important. Um, and I will go, but we have to be responsible about extracting minerals out of the earth's crust. Just like you have minerals in your body, and it's supposed to be a certain amount of minerals so that your body can continue to function in a balanced form and an efficient form, the earth has the same thing. And there's a certain amount of sun energy that the earth needs inside of it. The gold represents that sun vibration, you see. So, yeah, that's just a side save the planet note. You know, not that you could actually save the planet or destroy it, but anyway. So, what else do we have? Yellow, the Greeks were sheep lovers. In fact, that is how they created the blessed herpes from having sex with sheep. Yep. Fun fact, kids. Um, and they don't write tones in the Latin alphabet mostly. Houseworld Ben's talking about the piece. Okay, so let's see what else we have. Obadina, why would one be called to be initiated? Um, no one gets called to be initiated, Baba Obadina. Nobody gets called to be initiated. The initiation itself is the call. You know, so um, people are designed. You know, when we have this idea that someone's being called into the ministry or called to be initiate, that's a human thing. You got to remember that when you came to the planet with your destiny, when you came to the planet with your Ori, it was already determined if you were going to be initiated into an order. And there's different levels of initiation. Receiving a lekes is an initiation. Doing a candle spell can be an initiation, you know, because you're crossing one bridge to another. So there's no ultimate initiate like, okay, I get initiated as a you know, going into as a omo of a particular energy, going to be an awo or a father or mother of particular energy. That's the actual initiation. No, there's many receiving, and even though this is not really a, this is going to step on some toes. It's not a Yoruba ceremony when you receive your warriors. That's new, right? But that could be a form of initiation when you receive that Ogun pot and you receive those Elekes and you receive your own personal Eshu, right? So no one really gets called to be initiated. When you came to the planet, you came with a design and a purpose, and initiation may have been a part of that purpose, you know. But the Orisha just don't jump up one day, even though you may have an I will tell you that when you're sitting on their mat. This Orisha wants you now because such and such. They don't live in time and space. They live outside of time and space. The only time they get to interact with time and space is when they mount us and have us running around the bimbe acting a fool. That's when they get to have an experience of time and space. That's not the environment that they live in. You know, like when we talk about in the Helios Biblios, is what some people call the Holy Bible, God is the same yesterday, today, and forevermore. What that means is that the Creator lives outside of the bounds of time. Okay? And remember, we're talking about Orisha, who were as early as the Old Testament when Oya was speaking in the storm cloud, and they were calling it Jehovah, right? So we already know those things that were being said about that particular energy, we can apply them somewhat to our energies that we may study in our West African pantheon as well. But yeah, man, nobody really gets like called. You came and you were born to do. You came for it. You were born to do certain things. You know, and that's the bottom line. And you might wake up to your calling at a certain point, or you're able to scrape enough sludge off of your ori to see some light shining through and say, "Oh, that's what I'm supposed to be." Oops. Or maybe you were fortunate enough as a youth where your parents did the Esentaye and you got that birth reading, and you were able to find out, oh, this is the ministry I should go into, or I should initiate here. Because in some traditions, like for instance, the bata drummer is an initiation to be a drummer. Blacksmithing is a high order initiation, especially among, like if you go to ancient Mali, the blacksmiths are synonymous with like the awos, because it's this idea with the blacksmiths that they were able to take a piece of metal, smelt it, and turn it into something else. And in their estimation, when you're dealing with the Bambara people, that's a form of magic. So that within itself is an initiation. You get initiated into the cult of blacksmiths. Okay, so you know you don't get called into that per se, but you're born to be that particular thing. All right, I'm gonna get a couple more of these, and then we're gonna Kalachugi. All right. All right. I don't know what you're talking about. So I guess y'all might be having some conversations with each other. But yeah, so that's the main thing. Like I said, I just wanted to really give some vibration and energy. 10,000 subscribers, right? And I figured I would just throw in that Aquarius and full moon tonight. And like I said, full moon work. Sometimes you guys don't know what to do. Full moon's coming. Clean your implements. That's one of the best things you can do during a full moon. Put your crystals outside. If you even have knives and like your ogun pots and stuff like that, or if you have fetishes, you can put your pots outside during that time, or by your window, depending on what your setup is like, and let them soak up some of that full moon energy. But just know that again, as the full moon is moving through an emotion body. Okay, I got a question. I'll get to it. The full moon is moving through an emotion body. When you're dealing with that vibration of the Aquarian energy, you're dealing with a large degree of detached emotions. Aquarian being that air vibration, and Aquarians tend to be a bit aloof, especially when it comes to emotion. Doesn't mean that they lack loyalty or empathy, but they tend to kind of, because remember, they're pouring truth from on high, so they're not really amongst the people as much. And you look at a planet again like Uranus spins on its side. That's why you got to know the astronomy and astrology. I always tell you guys, learn the concrete before you learn the abstract. So I can break down the astrology, but I can also break down the astronomy. And you see how it's related. You got Uranus that spins on its side, and it's governing an energy that deals with rebellion. The Aquarian energy of the Aquarius is the energy of the rebel. You see, it's spinning on its side. So anyway, I'm gonna answer these and then. All right. Can Ifa call you to a different African spiritual system? A Babalawo divine me once, as he said I was to be in a Komfo. Yeah, because Ifa, you know, Ifa is not, it's not about a monopoly, because a lot of times, especially for those of us in the diaspora, we all think we're Nigerian. I don't. But a lot of people think they're Nigerian. So when you start talking about traditions, or you see an image, a person will see an image of a Nigerian Babalawo and say, "Oh, that's our traditions," but they may not feel the same way when they see a picture of a South African Sangoma and say that's my tradition. Or even an Igbo. In Igbo land, they practice what's called Fa, which is Ifa. So you have this idea of like geomancy is all around the planet, right? And Islam and Sufism, they practice Ifa. They just market it. They market in sand, as opposed to we use Ierosun. Ierosun is termite dung, right? So we use Ierosun, and in Islam they use sand, right? In Igbo land, they cast Ifa, but whereas we hold the chain like this, drop it, and it's pointing down this way, they drop it the other way and they point it towards the client. And a lot of times they rock two chains, and they drop the chains like this, and so they'll have they'll have literally four legs of Odu that are pointing to the client, right? So, and there's other systems that have it, that have these different forms, right? So you're really talking about geomantic forms. So you don't necessarily, you might get a reading in E5 and it may tell you to study a Chinese system. Now, a lot of it depends on the awareness of the diviner. If you're working with a diviner and that may come up and they don't know anything, when you're a Awo, you got to know about the world. They may not have the words to translate that to you for you to understand that. That, oh, you don't have to go to Nigeria. You should go here. You should go there. You go there. So yeah, Ifa is not limited to what you imagine Ifa being. Ifa is the highest oracle of the universe. Now, how many systems sit inside of the universe? You see? So it's not going to always point you back to, Nigeria. It might send you on another kind of journey. You just have to be open for it. And the person who's divining has to be open to share that kind of information, you know. Rika says, I would give thanks for your books, Chief. I was reading 14 Keys and caught this live. Cool. Good. I'm glad you checking out the 14 Keys. That's beautiful, man. EMG says, put Ogun outside. Ogun's already outside. You can put you can put all your implements outside. E5 is a nature-based system. Um, I was sharing that the other day. Like my shrines are not pretty. You come work at my shrine. You're gonna see feathers, chicken heads, turtle. And I'm talking about females. I'm talking about actual chicken heads, turtle heads, turtle shells, goat jaws, goat bones, horse's limbs, flowers, palm oil. You're gonna see all of it right there on the ground, fermenting with flies around it and everything else, because that's life that's growing there. Sometimes we get locked into the pretty shrine idea and like, oh, isn't that pretty? That's beautiful. When you're working and you're putting that paint in, your shrine is not gonna always look so pretty and neat. And you don't really need it to, because you want it to be its own universe where life is growing. Mold and fungus and all those things, that's why your shrine should be outside, are going to grow. So can Ogun go outside? Ogun is the energy of iron. Iron doesn't just kick it in your den. Iron is outside. So yeah, absolutely, man. Absolutely. Shannon says, how do you cultivate Omi serenity, especially for water signs and empaths? Marijuana. Lots and lots of marijuana. You gotta, no, I'm playing. I'm just joking. Um, how do you cultivate serenity? Chant for it. Chants are very effective. Suru is one that I gave you guys, a simple one. It just means patience. Suru, suru, suru. Get into a meditation practice. Very important. Um, Proper identity placement is important for serenity, right? Uh, a lot of times when we lack serenity in our lives, it's because we lack identity, and we're not living in the moment. In the moment, if you can always be sure of who and what you are in that moment, it's hard. It's like that saying. I think it's the Bhagavad Gita, where it speaks about if you're living in the past, you're going to experience depression. If you're living in the future, you're going to experience anxiety. But in order to experience peace, you must live in the moment, right? So it's kind of the same thing in that sense. You have to kind of zero in on the moment and zero in on what your identity is in that moment. That you can use meditation to help you with that. And there's many different practices. You might want to get a consultation if you want to go deeper into it. But for water energies, I would also say, like, still waters run deep, and you're hard pressed to find a water energy that's not very fearful and emotional all the time, even though they hide it. Oshuns are famous for that. Oshuns are afraid of everything. They're like Richard Pryor in the toy, like oh, but you don't see it on the outside. On the outside, they just looking all beautiful and Oshunish, but inside, like ground zero, they're freaking wrecked. So There's different things you have to do. Divination helps a lot. Like constantly ritualizing. I find certain people need to like ritualize and practically do personal readings every day. Need to be casting obi to keep that structure. You know, so it's different things that really you need to do as a water energy. But a lot of it, as far as serenity, deals with identity. And really locking in on Ori identity, and that's what's going to help you to kind of always be in the moment and not identifying with the old you or desired future you, which is only going to bring anxiety and depression. You know. So, uh, what do we got here, man? What y'all talking about? All right. Yeah, peace, LaDonna. LaDonna Lee. LaDonna's always saying little fresh stuff underneath my video comments. Little frisky comments. You know, she thinks I don't read them, but I've been reading them, LaDonna. I see you. Frisky, fresh, pertinent. All right, Obedina. Hey, I thought it was time to put the sticky to the icky. Okay, don't know what you're talking about. How do I set up a consultation with you? It's in the description of this video. I think it should be down there. Yeah, it probably is. The links and stuff like that. If it's not, I'll somebody put it in there. So Logan says, is it bad to clean it off from your inside shrine? Well, not unless you want mice and critters. If you can leave what you put on your shrine there, great. I try to leave stuff as long as possible, but you got to remember a lot of stuff we may use for offerings, Logan, is food. Palm oil is straight up food. Shea butter is food. Cocoa butter is food. So if you're putting those things on your shrine, man, you're going to come back and you're going to see these little black things that look like black rice. Don't eat it. It's not rice. It's mouse dung. And then you're gonna see their little hands. They scrape into the palm oil and scrape into. I'm speaking from experience. So if if you want to leave stuff like that, then it's best to put it outside if possible. But I tell you this, like even when you clean it off, I'm an economist. I don't throw anything out. So even when I take the palm oil and stuff off of my fetishes, I bag that palm oil up and I'll burn it. I'll take it somewhere. Maybe I'm in the woods that day or something, and put myself a cotton, piece of cotton in it. Let it melt down a little bit. Put some cotton in it, and you got a lamp. That with the ashe of what came off of your eshu or whatever you were working with. So that's me. But you do it how you want to do. Some people just throw it out. I don't like throwing spiritual stuff. That's just me. Okay, so you said I have growth happening all the time. I currently have a lot of fruit flies in my place from all the fruits, wine, and rum I give as ebos. Give it outside. And then what you can just do in your place, you can give the essential oils of those, like you can give grapefruit essential oil. You can give the different oils or different distillation. And I know you, Logan, you're an alchemist. You like to work with herbs and stuff, so for you it's easy. But you can give different distillations for the things that you were to give. Like you can always give, liquor, gin, and stuff like that. You can give cologne, you can give perfume, but you can use those essential oils as well. And when you want to give the fruit, put them outside, or just put them there for a time and then, you know, leave them outside. You can do that too. Um, Bawoni, what's your interpretation about the name Fasami? What's your interpretation, Mikhail Star? Let's start with you first. Okay. All right. I think we're pretty much good. And if Mikhail doesn't give me an interpretation quick, sure, no problem, Logan. No problem at all. Yeah, man. Inside your house, you will get critters. If because remember, shrines are meant to be outside. Like that's the standard. But because of the way that a lot of us live, we might not like have houses where we can do that, or maybe neighbors that we want to necessarily see what we're doing and things like that. but that means you probably need to live somewhere else because your lifestyle is discordant with your actual life. Okay. I'm still a baby, flowers, shells, water, and rum. That's cool. It works. Sammy Nolan, do you work with people in prison? I absolutely do, Sammy. In fact, I started in prison. So, yes, I do work with people in prison. Links in the description. You can reach out and we can build on, what you may need or what your loved one may need. All right. But yeah, absolutely. That's where it all began for me inside of, yeah, prisons. Okay. Ross one. What advice someone to would advise someone to train in Africa if they opportunity African spiritual tradition? Okay, so I guess you're saying would I advise someone to train in Africa if they had the opportunity? I guess you're asking me. No, I'd advise you to train under a competent elder if you have the opportunity. Just because you go to Africa doesn't mean that you're gonna be training under someone that's competent. Um, you have you got shady people wherever you go, and sometimes it's better if you can interact with people that we're in a place where you can kind of read the terrain. If you go to the continent and you don't know where you're at, you don't speak the language, or whatever, you can be taken. Because a lot of times when people see beads, somebody wearing a smock and a hat cocked to the side with an accent, and they dark like a piece of ebony, they assume, oh, this person knows their stuff. And they might be a straight up con person. You know, if you've never been to the continent, there's not too many places where you go where you're not going to see the majority of the people are either Christians or Muslims. You will see more consciousness in America. I'm just going to say it, man. Take it how you want it. You'll see more consciousness, more indigenous consciousness here than you will in the open over there. So don't just assume that because you're over there, you're good. You might be worse off. So get yourself with a competent elder. That's what you need to do, who has good character. Because someone being knowledgeable and being a scumbag doesn't work. Because if you were really knowledgeable in these systems and knowledgeable in Ifa, you would not be a scumbag because you would know you're putting yourself and your family at risk. Okay? So good character comes along with all of this great knowledge. You can't have one without the other. All right? Well, you can have good character and not be a great teacher. But yeah, if you know your stuff, then you're gonna have. So don't fall for that. Well, he kind of shady, but he got information. Don't fall for the conscious community garbage. All right, have good information, be of good character, and be able to disseminate and willing to share that information. But that's where the character line comes in. Okay. Where we at? Yeah, I'm about to cut these, man, because Okay, so Mikkel said, all I it was sent a Rumula. All I it was a Rumula sent me quickly. All it was a Rumula sent me. I guess you're telling me a Rumula gave you that name of Fasami. If that's the case, then you got to work that out, Mikkel. I'm not doing your work for you. If that's the case, peace, Fase. Doughboy, I'm headed to federal prison soon and was actually wondering, can I still practice EFI and reach out to? Yeah, absolutely. 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 Um, and the feds are way more lax in terms of getting reading material. And, you still like, if you're bringing in any books, it still has to come straight from the publisher, which I can do that for you. It's not a problem. But yeah, of course, that's not a problem at all. Yeah, I work with a lot of inmates. Can you still practice EFI? Yeah, you can still practice EFI in jail. You remember, there's a knowledge and an education that has to come with these systems and with these knowings and understanding. And your kingdom begins here. King's dominion, Queen's dominion is here between here and here. That's it. You ain't ruling nothing outside of this. Okay? You can project the idea of ruling something outside of here, but this is where you create your kingdom. And you can do that when you're in the Bing. And truth be told, there are rituals that you can do inside, but you don't really need to do rituals. If you're just coming in and you're asking me a question like that, that tells me right there that you need to be learning. You need to be learning about Yoruba culture. You can learn the Yoruba language while you're locked up. It's a little difficult, but you got time. You know what I mean? So, you can, that's a great way, a great understanding way to get into Ifa. Learn the language, learn about Yoruba history, learn about the movements of the different kingdoms. That will make you tighter with the actual systems. I'm telling you, that's going to make you tighter with the actual systems. Now, if you're trying to learn Ifa, because it's a common one, if you're trying to learn Ifa because you're getting ready to go into the feds, and you might try to file your appeal while you're in the feds, and you're like, well, if I can learn some magic, maybe I can just stop. It's just stop. You know, I'm not saying that you're doing that, but that's for anybody listening. It doesn't work that way. It can work that way, but you don't want it to work that way. Slow and steady is the way you want to get this thing, because then you'll keep it. You don't want to be rushing through it. Okay. So, but to answer your question, absolutely, dope boy. Links in the description. Um, no problem on the grammatical errors, Ross one. Mama Martha, imagine me. I am at work and slipping away every 3 minutes to catch up on this live. Well, good for you. I'm glad. um, Soul Moon says, knowing thyself means a lot, Chief. Yes, good character comes from observation of self. Yeah. No, actually, it doesn't. I'm lying. Why did I say yeah? I just say yeah because I'm getting tired. Good character comes from observation of self. Not necessarily. You got to do more than that to achieve good character. You need a community for good character, because you have to see how. You remember, a character is like a character. Like you type a character or you write a character. How do you know the significance of a P? My favorite letter. But how do you know the significance of a P, or know the significance of a Z or A or L or whatever? How do you know the significance of any of those letters without its relationship to the other letters, and the value and the importance of it? So character is cultivated within a communal setting, not just by watching yourself, because what eyes are you watching yourself with? You see? So you're developing and you're evolving yourself through the interaction with others. That's why you came to the planet. If you just wanted to observe yourself, then you would have dropped yourself on an isolated island somewhere, and your soul reflection would have just looked down and saw you just walking around the island. Okay? So I don't want to just be co-signing just because I'm being lazy. Because that's not true. My job is to teach. What is your personal Polo Mick Squirter? No, Polo Mick Quarter. I'm sorry. What is your personal views and opinions about Haitian voodoo versus New Orleans? Man, I don't get in all that dumb stuff. I ain't got no views. Haitian voodoo versus New Orleans voodoo. Whatever works, do that. Do it. All right. Haitian voodoo versus New Orleans. I've studied voodoo extensively in Benin, where it comes from, right? But you gonna tell me Haitian voodoo doesn't work? New Orleans voodoo doesn't work. They both work depending on what you're doing. A lot of stuff works. You know, it's about what's most intuitive to you. But don't get into that verse stuff. I've spoken to voodoo saints and Ugans and Mambos who have these long dissertations why this form of voodoo is more powerful, and that they don't know what the hell they talking about. I'm telling you right now, they don't know what they. Spirituality doesn't work like that. One system, I'm gonna give it to you straight. One system is never powerful than another system. It's not. Because you can give someone the simplest thing, but if they have the ashe, the character, and the power to work that simple thing, they will hand you your ass in a spiritual battle. They will hand you your ass. I went through something many years ago with someone did something real foul to me. And the warrior in me was like, I got something for you. And whenever I do anywhere, I always cast, should I? Can I? Right? Do you advise it? Cast, I'm constantly getting Oyeku. No, Oyeku, Oyeku. Oyeku is the science of death. Oh, yeah, you cool. That's the full word. The calling forth the mothers of death. Everything I'm casting, Oyeku, it's just coming up back to back. Can I do it this way? No. Can I get someone else to do it? No. Boom, 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 boom. Sat, meditated on it. And I was casting Obiabata, which is a kola nut at that time. Started getting images. The person who did something to me, their mother, I knew their mother, was this real self-righteous, annoying, loud, Christian fanatic Jamaican mother. But that woman was a witch. She was a powerful witch. Not sneaking around doing ritual witch. I'm saying just praying. She used to always walk around singing and praying. You know who she used to pray like? If you ever seen that movie Poltergeist, remember the second Poltergeist, the dude with the hat? God is in his holy temple. She was like him. Remember the worm in the glass of tequila? And he was singing, God is in his holy. She was like that. She would walk around the house singing scary movie songs when they came out of her mouth. God is in his holy temple. So I did the castings. It was like, Oyeko, leave that alone. Now, me, I'm no slouch. Like as far as spiritual battles, I've never lost one. I put a hurting on people. I couldn't mess with that woman. I could not touch her. I couldn't mess with her. She was gonna probably end up killing me. How was she gonna kill me? Just go pray to her God, put my name in her little Bible or something like that, because she had that ashe, she had that connection to the vibrations that worked with her. So don't get off into that system stuff, man. I'm telling you, don't do it. You got to work with what is most intuitive, and focus on your character. And whatever system you work in, learn the culture. If you want to learn Haitian voodoo, learn to speak Creole. Go to Haiti. Eat Haitian food. You know, be around, listen to the music, be around those people and those vibrations. If you want to learn New Orleans voodoo, then you need to go there. You're gonna have to go to a Catholic church. I mean, if you go to Haiti, you gotta go to Catholic church anyway, because everybody's Catholic anyway. But soak up that culture. Get down into New Orleans. You know, go into the cemeteries. You know, speak to people. Even though a lot of that has been commercialized, so you get a lot of BS down there too. You gotta sift through it. You know. All right. I knew somebody was gonna ask something about my shirt. Does your shirt, something, the phases of the moon, have anything to do with the 16 major Oduns? I'll never tell. All right. Peace, Edwina. All right, so Eladio deleted his comment. Um, can an Ifa person work with another person that practice voodoo? Man, I don't know if you asked the same question earlier. Oh, there's a lot of questions. I'm sorry, I skipped a lot of these questions. I wasn't going to answer all these questions, but then I feel kind of bad. How long does initiation take? Tanya Bell is asking that. Each initiation takes a different amount of time, depending on who you're initiating. Shango initiations are pretty long, depending on how you do Obatala. Obatala could be quick, or it can be 6 days plus. You know, because of certain astronomical events associated with Obatala. Okay, so there's no set day, there's no set time for initiations, because each energy you might do. And remember, I said a lot of things are initiations. Receiving alekes is an initiation. That takes, you can do that in one day. You can do that in 40 minutes, But there's different forms of initiation, but there's no set time for initiation, okay, to answer that question. Um, Amar said, "Peace, Lord. I just finished fixing my door. I'm about to go grab a salad and celebrate." Yeah, see, that's some evolved. That's some evolved celebrate. He didn't say I'm about to go grab a beer and celebrate. I'm about to go grab a salad and celebrate. I like that. You know, that's good. That's some evolved, evolved handyman. Peace, Akia. Yeah, yeah, peace. Um, okay, think we cool, or we're gonna be cool. Sammy Nolan, do you know of an online platform that I can learn the Yoruba language? Um, you can check. Yeah, yeah, I do. You know what? No, I do, but no one that I want to co-sign right now in this moment. You can check with Obadeli Cambone. You can check Obadeli's site. You know, he does the Medu, he does Swahili, he does Tree, and I believe he does have some Yoruba courses. I don't know if he does the Yoruba live. You know, that's at a BB Fodihe. No, or is that one in Burrito School? But you know, Obadeli Cambone. I have people who teach Yoruba. I know some people who teach. They don't have online classes, but they have groups that they teach with. But online, there's not a whole lot of people I co-sign online, so I don't want to send you somewhere and you don't have the best experience, and so I'm sorry. But Obadeli's pretty tight. You could check with him. Um, do you have to be initiated to practice Ifa? Deidre Scott asked that. Absolutely. Why would you want to practice it anyway? If you don't, if you asking a question like that, you don't even need to be near it. Practicing Ifa and being an Abarisha or one who receives the right hand of Ifa are different. Okay, so it would be like Deidre. Do you have to be certified as a mechanic to drive a car? Right? So you can learn the traditions and the morals and the sciences of Ifa as it relates to your personal life, but it doesn't necessarily mean that you're going to be an awo. Awo means mystery. So it doesn't mean that the mysteries need to be opened up for you. Like, there's people who drive their car and don't know how to open up the hood. They have someone they take it to go check if it's making a. That's your priest. Okay, so if you asking a question like that, you should not be initiated. So if somebody's telling you that, they're not doing the right thing. All right, they're not doing the right thing. Um, if I say I have my warriors and I need to know how to work with them effectively, yeah, that's why nobody should have given you warriors. That's the problem. You got all these priests out here. They want to make a quick buck, so they're giving people warriors and alekes, and then they send you out the door with a cardboard box full of stuff, full of pots and an old goon pot, and they tell you, yeah, every Wednesday blow on it and do. Education over initiation. I always tell you guys that education over initiation. All right, I'm about to get out of here. Y'all asking a bunch of questions, and I know it's a never-ending story. It's the flying dog. I know that. Uh, Ross one asked, "Do you know much about the Akan tradition in Ghana?" Yes, I do. Or do you have any references you could recommend? I'm gonna tell you something that's cool about the Akan tradition. It's like trying to become a teamster or join a union. You got to know somebody to do it right. Um, if you go on YouTube right now and look up the Akan tradition, you ain't gonna find anything. That's what I love about the Akan tradition. Look up Orisha on you and look at. I'm wanting to talk, right? Orisha on YouTube, it's totally adulterated. You got everybody and their mama talking about Orisha. 98% of them don't even know what they're talking about, and they're just rehashing and regurgitating stuff so that they can get YouTube views or whatever else that they're doing. The Akan tradition is very similar to our Saw Set. When's the last time you saw a YouTube video of somebody breaking down a Saw Set tradition? You never have, because they're not going to expose themselves like that, or sell themselves like that. The Akan tradition is very dignified in that same way. You don't get much information. Um, but let me say this to you: there is no Akan tradition, just like there is no Yoruba tradition. Akan is a group of people that consist of subgroups, such as the Ewe, such as the Fanti, such as the Ashanti, such as the Ga, so you're not gonna have there's no technically there's no Akan tradition. There's no Yoruba is a people and a language. There's no Yoruba tradition. Okay, so um, Sammy asked because I'm incarcerated and want to learn it from here. You can learn Ifa in jail. Here, man, this is where you start. Let me give you something. When you locked up, you can learn about elements. You know who you need to get with? Like, go to Juma on Fridays. Like, kick it with the Muslims. There's a lot in Islam that will help you with, like, learn how to pray properly. Learn how to properly make salat. Get with the Muslim brothers and go on Friday. Go to Juma with them. Learn how to make salat. Right? You're gonna use that in Ifa when it's time to do what we call bale. Where you're bowing down and you're in front of your fetishes. Get with the gods. You're locked up, get with the gods, man. The gods will start to give you the mathematical understanding, right? But the gods are also going to give you an astronomical understanding, where they'll start talking about the value of different planets, the value of the sun, moon, and stars and things. You're going to use that in Ifa, right? Now, I know some people are listening right now and they're like, blasphemy, you can't do that. But you know what? You probably ain't never been locked up. So when you locked up, you got to improvise. If you want to learn, I'm gonna show you a trick you can do. You want to learn how to cast like um, divination. Get yourself, the manila envelopes that you can get from the law library, or you can go wherever. Um, Cut those out or tear them up, because obviously you ain't gonna have no scissors, but tear them up. Draw some cowrie shells on them, and you can start memorizing the cowrie shell positions. I can get them to you, or someone can get them to you. What each to learn how to cast Meridin Lagoon. Like, so if 8 shows up faced up, or 7 face up, or 5 face up, what does that mean? So you could just be in your cell practicing. So just start to get used to, okay, 3 shells up, boom, 2 shells up, 5 shells up. Now, are you doing divination? No, not with cardboard paper, but it's preparing you. There's a lot that you can do. Learn about the elements. If you can learn about the elements, this stuff gets a lot easier. Learn about the value of air, wind, I'm sorry, air, water, earth, fire, ether, metal, wood. Learn these different elements, man. This is all Ifa stuff. But you can get with different people and traditions, man. Of course, there's always books that you can get, but yeah, you don't have to be, you know, on the street per se to get a connect. And there's a lot of people in the Bing who practice Santeria too. So I mean, there's Santeros that you'll probably run into and whatnot. But I'm telling you, the way you do it right, learn the elements, um, learn Meridin Lagoon. Learn Meridin Lagoon. Um, there's some other rituals that you can do, but I don't want to tell you. We could write a letter or something like that. Links in the description. I don't want to. I don't want to broadcast that on the air. All right. And like I said, for those of you got it, I know some are like, yo, you can't make them do no combat. Just shut up. Just shut up and listen when a grown man is talking. All right. So, Nakia Ubuntu says, peace and blessings, Chief. And everyone has been long, strong for me, but thanks for the motivational jewels. I don't give no motivation, Miss Ubuntu. I give inspiration. I can't motivate you. You gotta motivate yourself. All right. Okay. So I think we're just about good here. And do Yoruban Muslims practice Ifa? They sure do. Let me tell you something, man. Let me tell you something. What's your name again? BB. BBR Rodriguez. In Nigeria, everybody practices Ifa, but they just do it in different ways. It 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 it's the genesis of the entire culture there. You know what I mean? So there's so many things that are infused in the actual culture, even in the food that come from the temples. The language comes from the temples. You know what I mean? So yeah, Muslims practice Ifa, absolutely. Uh, So Shannon Raquel says, poured water on the train tracks and asked Ogun to clear my path. things moved. I'm not even sure if that's a ritual, but I was sincere. What's a ritual? Define a ritual, right? Rite Aid. Rite Aid, right ritual. That's what the RIT is. So, you know what I mean? What's a ritual? When you define what a ritual is, you'll find that it's not just defined by what I say. That ain't no ritual. Did you do the proper opening prayer? Did you properly close it up? That's not what a ritual is. You see what I'm saying? So you'd be surprised at things that come into your psyche that you know what, I'm just gonna, hey, let's try it. I was working with a client, and I'm gonna get out of here, man, because yeah, years ago, she was a real knucklehead, but she was a witch. One of those, didn't know she was a witch at first, but just a real knucklehead witch. She had a situation where she was losing her house, and she had to get a certain, what was it, $25,000. She had to get within like 30 days, right? So she reached out to me, came to me, and I said, you need to come to the shrine like ASAP Rocky. Like, we can't, you know. So she drove out to me. We did some work. I created some pieces for her because she came after work Friday. And Monday, she called me. And she said, a guy I work with, one of the partners, she worked at a law firm. I think she was a secretary. But she said, oh, paralegal, one of them. But she said, he just gave me $18,000. She said, he called me in his office and said, he heard that I was having a situation with my house and that I've been a sweet person all these years and a good, all these different things, gave her $18,000. So I was like, all right, cool. We got 7 more to go. Just, keep working. This clown spent the 18. She was a fool. So we got ready to work again. She was like, well, actually, I need more than 7 now. I was like, why? She was like, well, I had some repairs done in the house and something. Just dumb, So I ended up not working with her again. And then she showed up I'm giving y'all extra information for a reason. We were supposed to do something again, and I told her to pick up certain things. I was like, yo, get this, get that, get that. She came with like half the things on the list and was like, well, I couldn't get everything, so I figured you could just work with this. And I was like, Bill Duke, in Minister Society, you know you don't fuck up, right? You know you don't fuck. You said you bought the bottle of beer. That's what I did to her. And that was it. After that, I didn't work with her again, so I don't know what happened to her. But she used to come up with rituals. Like, she was like, I was thinking like, I could take, what was one she came up with? I can take a frying pan and heat it up really hot and take the name of the lawyer for the bank and write his name on a piece of parchment paper and put it in the frying pan to burn him up. Like, she would just come up with all these different things because she had a witch's imagination. And I wouldn't shoot him down. I'd be like, all right, go ahead, try it. Just see what happens. Try it. Invoke that genie, jinn. Invoke those jinns. Invoke those demons that are coming out of you. We want everybody. We want the demons. Come on, everybody help. But like I said, she was too foolish for her own good. I got her 18 grand within 2-3 days, and this fool goes and then when I saw her the next time, she had a hair dye, her locks were a different color. This fool went and going, she was balling out, But anyway, I don't remember the original question, but what I just gave you, I'm sure was better than what you just asked, because that was a good story. Come on. No, I'm joking. Let me look at the question. Do Yoruba Muslims practice? Nah. Oh, the thing about the train tracks and the what? Yeah, whatever. Look up what a ritual is, though. It's not what you probably think it is. And I did a show, ritual. I think it was about rituals. I think it was ritual versus sacrifice or something like that, or something. Ritual. That's what you're saying? I see you mouthing it. That's what it was called, ritual versus sacrifice? You don't know. All right, so I don't know, ritual versus I don't know. Just look it up. I did a show breaking down what each one was. All right, I'm about to get out of here, man. Cause yeah, Ross one says exactly. I can't find much of my info on a con. Is there a specific difference between a con and Orisha practice? Parentheses Ifa. Ifa is not Orisha. Two different things. Okay, so there is a difference between, and remember, there ain't no Akan practice. So, is there a difference between what the Akan and the region that we know as Ghana practice versus Nigerians, what they practice? Yeah, they don't even speak the same language. So that tells you right there they're practicing something different. Yeah. All right. Kamar, hey Kamar, my assistant has been trying to get in touch with you. I recognize your name. Two different assistants sent you like three or four different emails. I don't know if you got them. But anyway, Kamar says, why you can do thing to a dead body and affect the spirit? I don't know what you're talking about. You talking about necromancy, or I'm not sure what you mean. BB said, wow, she wasted her spiritual treatments. She wasted them, and not only did she waste them, this fool threw the fetishes out because she got into a situation after that. And I was like, okay, well, do you still have the such and such I made for you? She was like, no, because after we didn't do the second thing, I just threw them out. Like, you stupid. You know? So, yeah, she just wasted it, man. You know, she just wasted it, and that's how it goes. I had a situation that happened like that once with a family. A guy killed um, he killed somebody, and I got him out of jail. And listen, don't bombard my inbox. That's why I don't tell you guys some of these stories sometimes. Because they be like, yo, my cousin Day Day, free Day Day. You know me, I got the shirt on and everything. Can you do something for Day Day? Free my man Killer. Can you get Killer out of it? I'm not doing that for everybody, all right? And this is one of the reasons why I don't do it as much. Got the boy out of jail. Was like, yo, once he's out, like he needs to leave. Like he's got to move. Within, I think it was like 2 months, something like 17 days, something like that. Killed somebody else in a nightclub. She called me again, like, yo, da da da, and they bothering him, and I feel like it's a family curse. Family curse is y'all stupid. That's y'all all dumb. You stupid. That's the curse. And she did the same thing. I was like, well, do you have the things I gave? Nah, I threw him out. Cause after he got out of jail, she's like, figured I need him. So you think it's a vending machine? You see, you're disrespecting it. And I told her, I was like, I can't help you. I can't help you, right? That was many years ago, man. We going back. That was a long time ago. I was like, yeah, when my earlier days doing this, you know. Back in the days, I didn't always read on should I help people. I learned to do that over time. But somebody would come to me and all right, yeah, you know, no more. Um, you got to go live more often, Chief. Very informative. Yeah, I'm gonna go live more often when I put that super chat up in. I'm playing. I'm joking. Yeah, I don't really have the time a lot of times to go live, and I actually don't really enjoy it as much as other people do. Sitting here just talking and giving away all this game is not really all that fun for me. 10,000 subscribers though, that's what we talking about. Yeah, man. So yeah, I think I got pretty much most of you guys. I think that I got everybody here. Um, you know what I'm saying? And for those I didn't, no disrespect, just blame it on the head, not the heart. You know, I just didn't see you. All right, and you know this wasn't supposed to be a Q&A anyway. Um, whoa, what are you talking about? Rum? Oh, let me just read this last one. Shannon says, I want to do the rum and knives at the track in the dark, but an old car with one headlight scared me. Oh, okay. I saw the word knife. That's why I was like, hold on, wait a minute. But an old car scared me, so I did it inside. Turns out it was my brother. You don't know your brother's car? And your brother gonna get a ticket driving around one light like that. You're gonna have to be doing some other kind of rituals, talking about getting people out of jail. The water removes obstacles to love, so maybe. You think Ogun removed obstacles to from love for you with some water on a train track? Ogun didn't do that. You did it. An obstacle to love. There are no obstacles to love. Only the roadblocks, the obstacles that you create in your own mind, the dark pockets that you create in your brain. There's no obstacles to love. If there was obstacles in love, your body would dissolve right now. From it, it would atomically break apart and disintegrate. It's love that's keeping all the atoms that comprise what you are and who you are together. That's love. Love is the binding force. Ain't no obstacles to that except for what you put in your own mind. I'll go in and do that for you. But hey, at least you got to go out in the middle of the night, get some fresh air. All right. Yeah, this was fun. This was fun. Uh, we as a people have to learn who we are. Ain't that the quintessential truth, Amal Burke? You're right. Because we may not even be people. Once you learn who you are, you might look around and be like, these ain't my people. Yeah. All right. No, I know you missed the time to call Kamar about your appointment, but they were reaching out. I was gonna let you because normally if people miss their call, that's that. But I told them to reach out to you and try to reschedule. They kept emailing you and you didn't get back. So check your junk mail. Maybe you didn't see it or something. Um, you gotta do like my man Warren Buffett said. Don't lose money. Rule number one of financing and investing: don't lose money. So I'm not trying to just have you throw your money away. So yeah. But normally, if you miss your time, you lose your money because you messing with my time, you messing with my time, you messing with my money, you messing with my emotions. I know some of y'all finished that. But anyway, yeah, soul moon, know thyself. That's right. Okay, so I'm gonna get out of here. Um, oh, thank you, Anwar. Of course, you would think the tables are dope. Anwar is real crafty. He's good at making carving stuff. He's shown me some really nice carvings at his place that he did. Um, did you discuss the full moon? She-Ra committee? Yeah, about an hour ago. I'm playing. Well, maybe it was an hour. But yeah, we talked about it a little, but not really much. This wasn't really so much about the full moon, but we did like skim over the top of it. All right. Um, thank you, Visha. All right. So yeah, man. So I'm gonna leave you be. I'm just gonna read this last one. I know I keep saying it. These African traditions are beautiful and can definitely help someone, but in these days, people are doing more bad than good just for money. Why would the religion allow this to happen? Eladio Rodriguez, how old are you? Are you an adult? Why would the religion allow this to happen? Hey, you gotta grow up. All right, you gotta grow up. That's like, well, if God is real, why does He allow so much bad things to happen to people in the world? We got to be accountable for what we do in our free will that we can manifest on the earth. That's why we came here. So the religion itself, first of all, what religion? You just said African traditions. There is no, we say African traditional religions, there's no such thing because there's no such thing as Africa. Okay? In different regions, you have different groups that have different practices. Period. So the religion isn't allowing or disallowing anything. It's us choosing what we want to do because half the time when people are doing bad things, they're not using the actual system to do it. They're just playing against your good faith in them. You have people, think about the word con man, con woman. You know what the con is short for? Confidence. So what people do is they manipulate your confidence that you have in them. It's your goddamn, your gosh darn fault that you allowing that to happen because you're having confidence in people without properly studying and understanding their character. That's the problem. So you're looking for a con. You see, the religion has nothing to do with that because religion, religare, just means to bind back to the source. That's what religion means, to bind back to the source. That's it. The source of what? If I'm a scumbag and I come from a scumbag tribe and my ancestors were the scumbags, I'm going to bind back to that. You know? So, no, we have to take a more adult stance on that. You know, people are going to do bad, some people are going to do good, and it's all subjective. Half the time, when it comes to these traditions, the reason why y'all get caught up in stuff and stuff happens to you, because you're lazy as fornication under consent of the king. You are lazy. When I say things like learn the culture, y'all get quiet. I wouldn't do that. I just want the ritual. You know, you want all these shortcuts, so there's always going to be someone's going to jump in front of you and say, hey, here's a shortcut. All you got to do is come and get initiated. Give me $2,000. Give me $1,500. Give me some ass, and I'll initiate you. And your whole world is going to change. But Chief Yuya, I'm not to speak myself in third person, been telling you for years, learn the culture, develop character, study your Ori, which is your inner consciousness. But see, that stuff isn't as sexy as someone saying, hey, we're going to initiate you to Oshun, and we're going to cover you in honey, then we're going to have a throne over here, and you're going to sit on the throne, and everyone's going to dance around you and beat you with flowers and daisies and daffodils and all. That's more sexy to you. So you put your confidence in something like that because it speaks to your lower order thinking. So it feels more solid and secure because it aligns itself with the Western alignment that you already have. But when someone comes from an African perspective, like me, and says, you know what, you want to get into this? Learn the culture, join the village. That's me saying learn the culture, learn the language, eat the food. Come into our house, sit down, have a meal. You don't want to sit down and have a meal. You want the easy way out. So that's what your ass get. And I'm not saying it happened to you, but somebody needs to say it. You know, that's what happens. I'm getting like Quincy Jones. When you get older, it's like you just whatever. You just say it. Like I Patti LaBelle in that interview when he was like, "How did Luther deal with his sexuality?" She was like, "Oh, child, him being gay, yeah, he was gay, but she just let it out." I'm getting, you start to leak water as you get older. Just let it out. All right. So yeah, man, it ain't about the religion, man. It ain't got nothing to do with that. All right. So I'm gonna get up out of here, man, because y'all wearing me out. No, I'm joking. I'm joking. I'm just playing with you. Is it wise to receive Eshu? If I don't talk daily to my ancestors, I received Oshun last year, but I feel distant. Became pregnant with a child after I received Oshu. Oshun. I just feel lost. I don't understand. Right. That's why you shouldn't have been given the Oshun pot because you don't know what you're doing. Somebody should have been teaching you first. See, we go right back to the same thing. I hope you got a husband, by the way, Sunday Taylor. You just told me that you got pregnant with a child. I hope you married. I hope you just ain't out here giving that coochie away for free. I hope you married. That's our culture. That's our tradition. Family. So not to old man you, but I'm an old man you, right? So you shouldn't even receive those shoes because you don't know what you're doing with the pot. Now you're asking me if is it wise to receive that shoe? What you gonna do with that shoe? Have some more stuff in the corner of your house to scare your guests with that you don't know what to do with? Education over initiation. Education over initiation. Education over initiation. If I ask you what does the word Oshun mean, and you got an Oshun pot and you can't answer it, I have taken students' pots before and brought them to my shrine. I have SU sitting with me now that students ain't even asked about. I've had them for like over 10 years. They ain't even, hey, can I get my SU back? I got one SU once. She ain't gonna watch this. Sister I initiated, beautiful S shoe built for her. I said, hey, we're gonna feature S shoe. She said, oh, I gotta find it. It's in the basement. She pulls it out of her basement. It was nail polish spilled all over it. Oh yeah, I forgot a bottle of nail polish spilled on it. See, some of y'all shouldn't really even have some of the stuff. You don't need all these fetishes to get busy. You want to work with Oshun? Go to the river. You want to work with Eshu? Go to a crossroads. Ogun, go to the train tracks. You don't have to have all this stuff in your house because really it should be outside your house anyway. You can have altars in your house, but altars are personal to you. You see, it's what alters your consciousness. But the shrine is already outside. Like I said, our ancestors said the stars were shrines. You ain't gonna pull a shut star into your house, right? You know. So, yeah, man. So I'm a yeah, I'm gonna head out. You got some stuff here, and 10,000 subscribers. That's what this was about. But like I said, you got a full moon in Aquarius. You're dealing with that vibration of Anu or Orun or Oro Anu Oro Yoruba for the word light. And like I said, Omo Oro is like I said, some scholars have said that's where you get the word more. That's what some of my elders told me back in Nigeria, or the Omo Oro, or the Moors. Whatever. But that idea of again, light coming through the moon. So on a full moon, we're seeing all of it. And like I said, the full moon is a pull on your body. It's like a 3 times a pull that you normally would feel on Omi, water, Afefe, wind, and Onili, earth, Onile, earth. And on that new moon, we have the pull on the mental, right? So a lot of times you suffer depression around that new moon because it's the dark side of the moon that's now prevalent, and that has a pull on your mental, whereas the full moon, which is a cleansing and a purging, has a pull on your body, and again, like I said, it representing itself in Aquarius. Aquarius pours truth from on high. It's not taking the water and throwing it out like it's playing CeeLo. It's pouring that water down from the top on down, meaning that it's truth and consciousness coming down, coming through that vibration of the full moon. So now is a time for you to like really look at the fullness of your purpose and what you're living. And you got some truth tonight, because you guys got pots and fetishes that people gave you and they weren't even considered enough to teach you how to use them. And you know what? They probably weren't because they don't know how to use them. So you might have asked, well, what should I do with this? I'll tell you later. Don't worry. You my godchild now. You my godchild. You my godchild. Right? They probably did that to you. Right? And now you gotta come back next month and we're gonna do another Ebo. Bring $400-500. Right? And it just goes on and on and on. And you don't learn anything, so you can never do anything for yourself until you get frustrated and end up joining a different tradition and starting the thing all over again. Stop being lazy. This is not for the intellectually lazy. And if you are intellectually lazy, then you just need to be an Orisha, someone who just follows the tradition, but you don't need to be trying to front like a priest or a priestess with all these different shrine implements and stuff like that. That's not for you unless you're running a shrine. And most of you ain't doing that because you're too selfish anyway. All right, so all right, man. You guys enjoy your full moon. Go outside, Anwar. I know how your house is set up. You can go outside naked and shake the tilly to the moon. So if you have a environment where you can go outside skyclad tonight, if it's warm where you're at, you should do that. Soak up that moon vibration. If you have fetishes, you can put them outside, and especially crystals. For those of you who like to work with rocks and metal and stone, you can put them out during the full moon and let them get charged up by that sun energy. So yeah, man, I hope everyone enjoys their full moon. And this is Chief Yuya. I got a book coming, children's book, all right, for Orisha, that you are going to love. I haven't even really talked about it because the book is so good. I don't even really need to talk about it. And I know that sounds like whatever, but you're gonna see when you're gonna see it. It's dope. I was trying not to say dope. That's why I was saying all those different things. I didn't mean to use colloquialism. It's a really good book. It's well written. It's the animation is brilliant, and I think you will enjoy it thoroughly. And I also have three other Orisha books that I'm knocking out right now. Just kind of going through some things with them. I changed them around, so it's taking me a little longer. I actually condensed them, so that you can get them a little quicker. So we got some cool stuff in the pipeline coming. But like I said, tonight was really just about the 10,000 subscribers or whatever. All right, everyone, enjoy your evening. This is